It's officially fall, but some of you are feeling a bit like summer still, and that's going to persist for the next couple of days. Let's take a look at the big weather picture here on this Tuesday, September 30th. We'll start off with a large view of North America. Twin hurricanes out in the Atlantic moving away from the lower 48. Certainly good news here. High pressure nudging down into parts of the Great Lakes, also the Northeast. This is actually going to bring some relief to the heat to parts of the Midwest. It's going to have a hard time moving very far to the west. It's going to stay relatively hot across the central U.S. Summer-like weather conditions will persist for the next couple of days. Across the Pacific Northwest, it's going to stay rainy here, unsettled too. And then temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler here too, just because of more cloud cover. High pressure anchoring into the Northeast as we head through Thursday, keeping things dry. It's really dry here. We could use some rain. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like any's on the way over the next couple of days. A few showers across Florida with this easterly flow across this part of the country. And then southwest flow continues to move all the way toward the Great Lakes as we head into the weekend, keeping temperatures again above average. There is some cold air out there. You're starting to see it develop across the high latitudes. Some of that in a few of the models it's trying to break off. At least it's indicating that it's going to try to break loose as we head toward the first part of next week. I think this will be the heat buster, so to speak. As this front moves through, temperatures likely dropping closer to normal. I don't think we're going to get below average as we head into the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th, but this looks like some cooler temperatures. And it doesn't look like a lot of rain. We're still looking out, a week from now, but maybe a chance of some rain for the Northeast as we head towards next Tuesday and Wednesday. Otherwise, beyond this, right, we're looking at a long-range outlook here. More shots of cool air ahead. I think temperatures go back to where they should be this time of year. And a look at the upper level pattern kind of signifies that too. This is where we are right now, that trough in the west, keeping the showers around. We're going to keep this ridge here across a good part of the central and eastern U.S. If anything, the heat's probably going to build into the Northeast as we head into the weekend and the first part of next week. And then your flow starts to change up as we head toward the 8th, 9th, and the 10th. Big ridge starts to develop across Alaska. In response, you start to get some troughiness digging into the central United States, down into parts of maybe even the Southwest. Still a long time before we get there. A closer look at the precipitation here into the east. We've got showers into parts of the Carolinas as our hurricanes move away from the lower 48. Showers into Florida too, and otherwise moving this ahead quickly all the way into Thursday. You can see mostly dry conditions here for a good chunk of the east. This is going to be your change though. Temperatures today in the 80s into Chicago, Indianapolis. Notice how this cool air starts to work in from the northeast. 40s and 30s for lows as we head into Wednesday morning for parts of the northeast. Highs will struggle to get to 50 in northern New England into the Green and White Mountains. Cooling across parts of Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, back into the 70s. You can kind of see this push of cool air even into parts of Michigan. Lows as we head into Thursday morning may drop into the 40s with highs held back into the 60s and 70s. We're still pretty warm once you get, I think, west of Chicago up into the 80s and 90s, but that cool air pushing all the way down into parts of the southeast, everything flowing around high pressure, much cooler than what we're looking at here across the central U.S. with not a lot of precipitation in the forecast. We do have some showers across the Rockies. So a few showers try to break out as we head now into Wednesday across the northern plains, across really up towards the Canadian border into parts of Minnesota, and then otherwise, just a few showers right along the Gulf Coast. A look at your temperatures as we head into Tuesday afternoon. Hot all the way up into eastern Montana, west South Dakota, west North Dakota, into the upper 80s, close to 90. Moving this ahead in time as we head into Wednesday, another hot day. In fact, you've got to go all the way into next week before you start to cool off here. Here's Thursday, Friday. I'm rolling through this pretty fast. Friday could be even hotter. I'm going to get into next week. Look at this. Your change might not come until maybe Sunday or Monday, knocking your temperatures closer to where they should be this time of year and across the west. Showers continue as we head into the Intermountain West, and another system is moving ashore as we head into this afternoon and this evening. Winds will start to pick up along the coast, and it's going to be rainy from Seattle to Portland into Northern California. Some high Sierra snow possible over the coming days, even into the mountains of the Intermountain West as some cooler air works into this region. It stays showery, kind of unsettled across this part of the country. Here's a look at your temperatures this afternoon. 60s and 70s, 80s and 90s across the far southwest. It could be much hotter, but a little bit cooler as we start to slip toward fall. That sun not quite as strong, that October sun anyway. And then as we head into Thursday afternoon, Still relatively mild across this part of the country, but winter isn't too far away. I was looking at some of the longer range outlooks. Look at this. Maybe some real cold on the way as we head toward the 10th, 11th, and the 12th.